back, everyone, and today we're going to discuss how I moved my Waterbox 20 cube into the new house. Now, this isn't a tutorial video. I'm just going to kind of vaguely discuss how I went through the steps and the process of moving my Waterbox into the new house. There's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to actually move your Waterbox step by step. It's not a perfect science. It really depends on your system and how old your system is, how big your system is, and whether you require additional help to move all those pieces. So let's get into it. Now, the first step is I actually went through the entire planning process and tried to think about everything. Now, as reefers, we know we don't know everything. I learned a lot via the local fish store and YouTube. I actually did a little bit of reading too, believe it or not. I am a criminal justice major, so hey, I can read sometimes, apparently. However, a little bit of light humor. So the planning process was, actually fairly easy for my Waterbox 20. So I moved my entire Waterbox via 5-gallon buckets. And I started by siphoning all the water into the 5-gallon buckets. And the next step was I put all the living fish and invertebrate and snails and everything into a bucket with no rock by themselves. And I didn't really have to worry necessarily about the temp for that because I did everything the same day. Now I'll get into that in just a second. The next step is I took off as many corals that didn't have a solid footing, were just held by some super glue that I put on there over the last couple months. And I just kind of snapped them off and then put them into the another 5-gallon bucket. It's worth noting that I did actually separate them using bags that I received, little small bags that I got from Petco to make sure none of them touched. That's very important because I don't want my torch corals stinging everything, and all the corals really stinging everything and have a bunch of dead corals once I got to the new house. Not a great way to move in. So, separated those via bags, put them in their own bucket. And then all the other rock, I moved into 2 separate buckets. And then I had a couple others that I put equipment in and whatnot. As far as the sand goes, I replaced all of the sand in my tank. If you're an experienced reefer or a newbie that has, had a system up for a little while and decided to move like I did, you'll know that there's a lot of things that can go wrong with trying to reuse your sand, including ammonia spikes. So I didn't even want to play with that. So I just decided, sand really isn't all that expensive. In relation to the fish and coral that you have in your tank. So I replaced it all. Easy decision by me. My local fish store actually brought up that idea. So thank you, Midwest Aquariums, Fargo, North Dakota. The next thing I did is I actually placed a heater and a wave maker, just a cheap one, in the 5-gallon bucket with the coral. That way they kept a regular temp. I didn't want them fluctuating a bunch throughout the day. Now let's rewind a little bit. I closed my house, my old house, and bought my new house in the same day. Now, any of you guys who have moved before and done that, because I have a VA home loan, being in the military, it's a nightmare, especially when you got to move a saltwater tank. Luckily, I have some great friends that help me move. Thank you to all of you. Show you a little picture here, but yeah, you guys were without a doubt a very important key in moving my tank, because while I was moving my fish tank and trying not to let everything die, my buddies, all of which you saw in the picture, all of them deployed a week and a half after I moved my house. So they spent a week and a half before a deployment. They're currently deployed right now, helping me move while I moved my saltwater fish tank. So, got some good friends apparently. So having people help you is very important to this process. I truly don't know if you could do it alone. especially if you're trying to move a house. It's not going to happen. So yeah, after I got to the house, I set up the stand, set up the tank, put the new sand in, filled it up with water, started putting all the rocks and corals and fish back into the tank. It was kind of a nightmare. I thought everything was going to die. It was a little stressful, but I just kept everything separated. I let about a couple days go by, and then I started moving everything to where I wanted it and where it is now. Since then, I have adjusted some things, minor tweaking and whatnot. But overall, it's been a very tedious process. I could not imagine trying to move a large, honestly, anything bigger than 80 gallon, 60, 80 gallon would be a complete nightmare. So yeah, with this, it's doable. This is, all those people that say, a smaller tank is harder, and I believe maybe it is. In this case, definitely a lot easier. So yeah, I got everything in. So let's go into the next step. My steps did not take place without loss. I will say that if I had to go back and change this, I would have been overfeeding like crazy leading up to the move. Because if you really think about it, you could do water changes once a week, even like a 20% water change once a week, and just overfeed like crazy because you're moving your system, and they would have handled the stress a lot better, in my opinion. That's just a hunch that I have. I did lose some coral, and some of them got damaged. My Montipora is a little damaged. It's actually starting to make a little bit of a recovery now. I lost my bird's nest, which I don't know why, but everybody else can keep bird's nest alive except for me, apparently. I got another one sitting back there. I'm gonna try this again the third time and see how it goes. But things like my torches, they're in great shape. My hammers, my frog spawn, all my softies, LPS corals are doing fantastic. It was mainly my SPS corals that didn't do so great. So did have a little bit of loss there. A little bit of a bummer, but I'm actually surprised I didn't lose more. The other thing is during the move, I made the stupid decision of not putting my cover on immediately after moving into the new house. Apparently I'm a fish. And the Diamond Watchman goby jumped out, dried up on my floor. So, not a good decision on my part. I'm not perfect at this hobby. I'm very new, in fact. And that's an important lesson that I learned is a little bit of laziness will get a fish killed. So, make sure you put your cover on right away. Don't leave it next to the tank. What else, guys? My sea cucumber is still alive and well. The clownfish are still great. You'll notice, some of the new fish back there. I'll get into some kind of the newer stuff in a separate video, but I don't want to take any more time. I hope you guys found this video informative. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. I got a very special announcement coming out here in the next week. I think you guys are going to be stoked. I know I am. Please stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next video. Happy reefing, and we'll catch you on the next one.